Hello everyone, in this video I will be ranking the top 10 roller coasters in Florida. I've always wanted to do a ranking video like this, so I'm very excited to dive right in. Now obviously I haven't ridden every single coaster in Florida, but I have ridden the majority of the good ones. Pretty much every good coaster in Florida I've ridden, so I have a very good feel for it. So obviously these are just my opinions, but let's dive right into it. At number 10, we have Tigress at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Now, this is just a standard Premier Skyrocket 2, but that's saying so much. This ride is awesome. Like every Skyrocket 2, the inversion at the top is amazing, the launches are great, the hang time you feel is spectacular, and it's just amazing. Now, Tigress also has a fantastic soundtrack to it that adds to the ride when you're in the queue line. I love Tigress, and I also make it a priority to ride that coaster every time I'm at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. So that's an easy way to start off with Tigress at number 10. But number 9 is the Incredible Hulk at Universal Orlando Islands of Adventure. Now, where do I even begin? The Incredible Hulk is such a unique coaster. What other B&M do you start off with a launch straight into an inversion? I mean, it is seriously spectacular. But it's not just the coaster itself that makes it so great. This ride is a whole experience. Everything from the queue line to the onboard audio is just fantastic, and I absolutely love this and make it a priority to ride it every single time I'm there. You know, I think this is the best B&M looper in Florida. I believe it's better than Kraken and Kumba. So, you know, I just absolutely love this ride, and it's pretty good. Now, it can be a little rough at times, but you know what? So does every B&M looper. I love it so much. Number 8. Now, this could possibly be a controversial choice, but I absolutely love this ride. This is Cheetah Hunt at my home park of Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Now, this ride may be a family coaster. However, it is just so much fun. Everything from the triple launches to the Heartline roll, and just even the light theming throughout the ride is fantastic. The way you're going all the way over the Serengeti is amazing and just so much fun. You feel like you're zooming through. You know, I love this ride for what it is. I don't think coasters necessarily have to be like all insane to be awesome. And you'll see that theme a little bit later throughout this list. But Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens Tampa is spectacular. You really feel like you're a cheetah rushing through. You know, it's a great ride. And if you've never ridden it, I highly encourage you to ride it. Because I do place it over coasters like the Incredible Hulk. I think it's fantastic and it's just so much fun. The fun factor on Cheetah Hunt is super good, so that's why I place it on that spot. Next up, we have Manta at Seaworld Orlando. Now, I love this ride. This ride was my first ever flying coaster, and it's just fantastic. It's so much fun. That pretzel loop after the drop is incredible. If you've never done a pretzel loop before, you're definitely in for a treat. It's surprisingly intense, and it's such a cool sensation. You know, I really love this ride. I love everything about it. The queue line is actually pretty good for a SeaWorld park. And how it goes over the water and interacts with the water is also super great. I highly recommend checking out Manta if you've never ridden it before because it is super fun. Now, it's nothing too crazy, but just like Cheetah Hunt, it's awesome. It is so much fun and you're going to go walk off of it smiling. Next up, taking the 6th spot is Montu at my home park of Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Now, where do I even begin? This ride is so good. It does everything that it's supposed to do. The trenches are wonderful, the Batwing is great, and every single element is flawless on this ride. I absolutely love this ride and it's incredible. It's surprisingly intense for a B&M and it's so good. If you've never ridden this ride before, I'd say it's worth just going to Busch Gardens just for this one ride. It is that good. It will definitely surprise you. Before I rode this, I've ridden coasters like Alpengeist and Great Bear and it just destroys it. Montu is so good and it's such a strong ride. That would be the word I'd use for it. It's such a strong coaster. It does everything almost perfectly. So yeah, that's Montu. We're going to start with our number 5th spot, which is Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. And actually, this is the coaster I've ridden the most times because it is that good. This ride is amazing. You feel like you're flying over the water. Those airtime hills are insane. And depending on how much room you get in between you and the lap bar, your ride could be incredible. I've had rides on this where I was literally scared because of how much airtime I was getting. It is that good. It's so intense and I love this ride. Now, it's intense, not in the usual way of like the forces, but it just feels so intense because it's like fast. You know, you feel like you're flying. and I absolutely love it. Now, the front row actually gives a very intense ride from what I believe. Now, I think the front row is very different from the back. So everywhere you ride on this, it's going to be a little bit different. The middle, you get a little mix of both, but the front for me is a little bit more bumpier, which is very weird. I feel like I'm the only one that ever says that, but I really, really love this coaster. The airtime is so good. Now, the second half obviously isn't as good after the brake run. There's an airtime hill always that I don't like. It literally gives no airtime, but that does not matter. This ride is just so amazing, and I'm so happy that I live super close to it. Yeah, so that is Mako, and if you've never ridden it, you have to get out and check it out. Next up, we have number 4. This is Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure thing. That's such a weird name, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure at Universal's Islands of Adventure is a really, really strong ride. It's super fun, and even though it is a family coaster, the ride is just pure fun. Just like Cheetah Hunt, it doesn't have to be super intense to get the point across at being amazing. Now, I actually don't like Harry Potter. I don't like Harry Potter at all, but I did really, really, really like this ride. This ride was super cool. When I rode this ride, I rode with some people who had no idea what was going to happen. Obviously, I'm a coaster enthusiast. I knew everything. I knew the drop track, I knew the backward section, I knew all the launches. And sorry for the spoilers if you've never ridden it. But I knew what was going to happen. And I rode with some people who were clueless, and just seeing their faces on the drop track and when it went backwards, that was so much fun. I rode in the front and I was constantly looking back at them, and they were having a blast. They were shocked. It's such a fun ride, and it's super good. Now, I will say, after you've ridden it for the first time, it gets slightly not as good each time because you know what's going to happen. I mean, obviously that's with any storytelling coaster, but it's still super cool. So I'd say 4th place is definitely a good spot for this. Now we've made it to our top 3. Now let me just say, it was very difficult finding spots for these 3 coasters because they are so close. All of them are neck and neck to how amazing they are. Now, I'm not just talking about how intense they are. I'm talking about the storytelling. I'm talking about the fun factor, the theming, everything. But number 3, our 3rd best coaster in the state of Florida is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Now, actually, from when I'm filming this video, I actually rode this about 4 or 5 days ago, and it was so good. I've only ridden this one time, and it was fantastic, and I cannot wait to ride it again. The fact that you have different songs every time you ride is so much fun. The song I got was Conga, which was really, really good because it fit the ride so well. Now, this ride is a long ride too. You definitely feel the length of it. It's super fun, and you're just zooming through space, and it is amazing. I don't really know what else to say. Now, the storytelling of the coaster is a little weird. You don't really know what's happening at all the time because there's so much information overload. You're going through the layout, you hear the voice of the Guardians of the Galaxy characters, but you also hear the music, and then you're looking at stuff, projected on the building, and then you're also spinning. So it's a lot to take in, but that just adds to this coaster's beauty. I love this ride. And again, this was one that I rode with people who did not know what was going to happen. They did not know it was going to go backwards, and that was super fun. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to take people on coasters who do not know what's going to happen. That's awesome. But Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is incredible. It is so much fun, and I wish you didn't have to get a virtual queue to ride it because that's always so stressful, and if you don't get it, it does put a damper on your day, But Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is so much fun. It's not super intense, and it doesn't make you sick like other spinning coasters. It is just fun. Everything about the coaster is super neat. Now, it definitely felt like a controlled spin, definitely for some of it, because you could, it was, moving you to look at the sets, but that's awesome. That just adds to the coaster's uniqueness. So that's Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Now we are at our top 2, and you guys probably know that the top 2 are going to be Iron Gwazi and Velocicoaster. But what order? This took me a while to figure out which one I like better because they are so different. Obviously, you all know I love Iron Gwazi. Iron Gwazi's at my home park, and it's incredible. But I also love Velocicoaster, and in fact, recently I rode Velocicoaster again for the first time in a while, so I decided my ranking now. Y'all are ready? At the 2nd spot, the 2nd best coaster in the state of Florida is Iron Gwazi. Iron Gwazi at my home park of Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay is incredible. It is so intense. Now, I rode this for the first time during pass holder previews, and I rode it 17 times pretty much in a row, and it is so intense that I could not do it anymore. I wanted to ride it at least 20 times, but I could not because it is that intense. The death roll is so good, but the best element on this coaster is definitely the drop. This is the strongest drop I've ever experienced on any coaster. And when I say you're flying, you are literally flying out of your seat. You feel like you're standing during the drop. Now, this is the best drop on any coaster, and it is purely amazing. This ride is so good, and it doesn't even feel short. The wave turn on this ride is also fantastic. It is that good. This coaster is super intense, super fast, super just everything, and I am so glad that it is at my home park. If you've never ridden Iron Gwazi, I definitely encourage you to come check it out. It is so much fun. Hence the Iron Gwazi sign I have on my wall. You know, I love that ride, and it is great. Now, actually, I wanted Iron Gwazi to be my number one coaster. I really did want it to be my number one. However, there's another ride, which y'all know what it is, that I believe is a little bit better, and that is Velocicoaster. Where do I even begin with this ride? It is so good. This is another coaster which I'd classify as an experience. This has one of the best queue lines I've ever seen, ever. It is so fun. You know, this coaster, it really is an experience because never have I seen a coaster that goes so fast, that is so thrilling, that has literal theming during the ride. Literally, there are raptor statues all over the place during it. There are 4 of them, and it's just so fun. It feels like you're in the raptor paddock. You know, it is incredible. It is amazing, and I love that ride. The best part of that ride for me is the launches and the Mosasaurus roll over the water. Now, that element is not hyped up enough. I know everyone talks about how amazing it is, but no, it is really good. The stall on that ride doesn't do too much because you're going so fast, but that's just the beauty of Velocicoaster. You feel like you're flying. After that first launch, you feel like you're going so fast, but then when you get to the second launch, you go even faster. Velocicoaster is a beauty, and it is like my favorite coaster I've ever ridden. It barely beats Iron Gwazi, but it is so much fun. So those are what I believe are the top 10 roller coasters in Florida. Now, some awesome rides didn't make the list, such as Icebreaker, and Kumba and other rides like that, but that's just because Orlando and Florida itself has such a great coaster collection. So yeah, that's what I think are the top 10 rides in Florida. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. This is the Coaster Josh, signing out.